My name is Vin.
And welcome back to Rodriguez Reviews. I am
Vin.
Rodriguez, and today,
I'm at the beach.
an announcement that just came completely out of... And today we're looking at Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the definitive edition. I do not know what to say. This is something that has been leaked heavily for quite a while now, with varying degrees of insanity. Like some people were saying, oh, the whole 3, they're getting remastered to the quality of fucking Grand Theft Auto 5, and they're gonna be like brand new games, brand new experiences. And then others were just like, oh, they're fucking re-releasing it for mobile. So the leaks weren't exactly that they were right. This game is coming out, like, it's been announced officially now, but there were lots of rumors going on for years about the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy being remastered. This video is completely off the cuff, unscripted, just to give you I just want to voice my opinions on it. As you may know, I mentioned it in another video, Grand Theft Auto was a massive childhood game for me, along with Halo. Grand Theft Auto Vice City possibly even more so. That is a big call to make for me, but it is true. I think I actually put more time into Grand Theft Auto Vice City than I did into Halos 1, 2, and 3, at least for a very early period in my life when I was about 7, 8 years old. I did play Grand Theft Auto 3 less so. I played San Andreas a lot more than Grand Theft Auto 3, but the main one was Vice City. That was always my favorite one for some reason. Does it have something to do with my obsession with the 80s? Possibly. Is it why I dress like a 67-year-old man most of the time? Does it have to do with my accompanying 65-year-old man music taste? Yeah, probably. But really, Vice City was, and still is, one of my favorite games of all time. It is my favorite Grand Theft Auto. And obviously you can't really compare the quality, to the HD Grand Theft Auto games, Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, because they're new. It's like, obviously they're better, the newer games. The controls are much more refined. These 3 games, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, obviously haven't aged the best. San Andreas has probably aged better than the other 2, but none of them are really... Today, the gameplay experience is dated, and you can tell. Now, while I first looked at this announcement and was very, very excited, the more I thought about it, the more I think it's not actually worth getting excited about. It is unfortunate because these are beloved games for so many people. I know that San Andreas is probably the main one for my age demographic, but this is just such a big announcement to make, and I don't think they're very vague with it. I'll read what they say on the actual Rockstar Newswire. This is from Rockstar themselves, and it's just very... I'm not sure. So later this month marks a very special anniversary for Rockstar Games, 20 years since the original release of Grand Theft Auto 3, which was really the first 3D open world game. Not the first one, but it's the one that launched it into popularity. Without GTA 3, there's no other GTAs, there's no Red Dead Redemption, there's no any third-person open world game. Alongside GTA 3, shortly after, in 2004, I think Vice City was released, including a voice protagonist, and one of my favorite protagonists in video games of all time, Tommy Vercetti. He probably has something to do with why I like Hawaiian shirts so much, and eccentric or different colored suits. And then after that, in 2006, I'm pretty sure, is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They're all as legendary as each other. Most people tend to agree that San Andreas was the best of the three. It is the one that's aged the best for obvious reasons, but Vice City still holds that special place in my heart. It was one that I grew up with alongside my uncle. So here's where they go into the details. In honor of the upcoming anniversary, today we are excited to announce that all three games will be coming to current generation platforms later this year in Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Not sure about that name, but anyway, it's going to be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the new Xboxes, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and on PC as well. Apparently, this is where they detail what the game's actually going to be. The definitive edition will feature across-the-board upgrades. See, this is the issue. What do you mean across-the-board upgrades? What does that mean? Across-the-board upgrades? All of it. It's going to be upgraded. You know, you could tell us, is the aiming going to be better in GTA 3 and Vice City? Because they're both auto-aim, they're just... And so is San Andreas, but it had a free aim feature with all of its guns. Like, is it going to be more like a traditional third-person shooter where we can actually aim and not just, you know, automatically lock on? Like, that doesn't mean anything. Across-the-board upgrades doesn't mean anything. It could mean the controls are slightly sharper. Like, you haven't told us anything. And then immediately after that, it says including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements. What? Graphical improvements could literally mean anything. Because a graphical improvement would be making these games 60 frames per second and a higher resolution. That's a graphical improvement. Graphical improvement could also be GTA 5 level graphics. Now, the reason I think the excitement is unwarranted is because of what I just said. The graphical improvements could mean literally anything. And don't get your hopes up, it's not going to be GTA 5 level graphics. It won't be, I can guarantee it. At best, I think it maybe might look like Mafia 2. That is the absolute best that I think it'll look. That's reaching. I think that's genuinely reaching, because apparently it's going to run on the Unreal Engine. I don't really know what runs on that, but it's a different engine to the one that the old GTA games ran on. I think Fortnite runs in it actually, and look, it might be, who knows? It could just be FPS upgrades. I don't know. I really am lost here because they haven't given any details at all. And what worries me is that it also says that the definitive edition, these three games, are going to be coming to iOS and Android, so phones, in the first half of 2022. How good can the graphical improvements be if it's going to be on a phone? That really scares me. I actually, like you got to think about it. Like, there's no reason for them to be this vague. They still want people to be hyped about it. It's really strange, isn't it? Like, coming to phones. I get that it can be tweaked to run on phones better, but if they're the same game, it can't look that good on consoles if it's still going to run on an iPhone. It's like, take example again, Fortnite, which runs on the same engine, fully cranked up on PC. It's not a terrible looking game, but it's very cartoony. You can run it on just about anything. And to be fair, maybe that is what they're going to do with this trilogy. They might make it look a little bit more cartoony. It might be still very blocky and just have a lot more graphical fidelity, which would still be reasonable, I think, but not what we're looking for. In my opinion, if you're redoing your original three, like if you're redoing Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, They are massive. Grand Theft Auto is a cultural phenomenon. I don't know anyone that hasn't touched a Grand Theft Auto game. I genuinely cannot think of anyone that has not once played Grand Theft Auto, even if it's just literally moving around the character. For people that don't play video games have played Grand Theft Auto. People that aren't traditionally interested in video games play Grand Theft Auto. Everyone plays it. And for a lot of people, this would have been one of the first games that they played, mostly San Andreas. For me, it was Vice City. It's like you really have to make it something special. And unfortunately, I don't think that's what we're getting. Another reason I don't think it's going to be that fantastic is because they have said into preparation for launch, they're going to be removing the classic titles from online stores. I think they've already been removed at the time of recording this, actually. So that the new edition is replacing it. It's like if the new experience is close enough to the original experience, so close that you can remove the original ones off online stores, then how much better or how much different to the original experience can it be? And don't get me wrong, we don't want it like completely different either, but it's also got to be something new. It has to feel like a new game, and I think it's just going to feel old, like, and that again, it's fine. The old games are fun to play still. I still have a good time playing through Vice City every once in a while. San Andreas, GTA 3 not so much, that one's aged pretty poorly. But you're re-releasing it in 2021. It has to feel like a new game. Look, in any case, I'm gonna end up buying it because, like I said, those 3 games were ones that I grew up with. And Rockstar as a developer is my favorite developer out right now. They are one of the only few that every single time they release a game, they release quality and in a finished state, okay? None of this game as a service bullshit where you release half of a fucking game and then release content periodically, and then by the time of the end of the game's life cycle, it's a full game. No, Rockstar doesn't believe in that shit. They'll put in the work and they'll give you a finished game when they're ready to give you the finished game. Right? They rarely release, of course every game has bugs and glitches if you're really looking for them, but nothing glaring like we get a lot today with new games, and never a shortage of content. Always plenty of content. So I do like Rockstar as a developer. I disagree with how they go about third-party developers with mods and all that. It's a long story to get into, which you can look up if you want, but in a nutshell, they don't really treat their fans the best. But like I said, they release quality every single time. If Rockstar came out and said, fuck you, we hate you all, you're all fucking troglodytes that don't move outside your house and you jerk off to our fucking strip club inside the game, and we all think you're fucking nerd loser fucks, here's GTA 6, I would still be like, yes. Thank you very much. You kind and caring people, I love you so much. If they asked most people at the moment to give their own blood for Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't think they would have any trouble collecting it. I know I would. I'd be the first in line. Hey, you want GTA 6? You've got to give fucking half of your blood. There's a fucking 5% chance of survival. Sign me up. Where the fuck do I go? Woo! Get me out of here. I want GTA 6, baby. What I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to look at the positives now, and Rockstar has they've never disappointed me, actually. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the most hyped I had ever been for a video game in my life, and they certainly did not disappoint. Like I said, they never have before with a release of a game. But I'm doubting them this time. I am doubting them this time. It's the first time that I've doubted them. We can only hope. We can only hope it turns out what it should be. for the sake of my own sanity and the drought of any information from Rockstar about a new game from them, we really need this. We really, this is, you got to make this good. You got to make this good. It's anyway, I apologize for my long absence since the last video. As most of you will know, I was in the last couple of weeks of school and I was focusing on a lot of schoolwork. It was pretty busy for me. I've graduated now, I'm finished with schoolwork, I'm moving on to full-time work, but I don't have homework, so it'll give me more time to make some videos, and I'm looking to put them out more often than what just happened. I'm looking to do one per week to one a week and a half. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, a dislike if you didn't. Consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.
The giant horse conch weighs over 11 pounds.
You're gonna have to suck the penis for GTA 6.